Welcome to Donu'S Week, which is about what I've been up to for the past 7 days, the people I've interacted with, the places I've been to, the things I've done and not done, and the thoughts I've had.
Hi everyone, thank God it's Friday. So let me tell you why I'm dressed up in lace, lots of jewelry, more makeup than normal, because I am in Lagos getting ready to celebrate the 90th birthday party of the grandest, most amazing man in Nigeria, Sam Amuka, veteran journalist, doyen of my profession. We call him Uncle Sam because he's just such a wonderful man. Most people feel, as if he's their uncle. And he owns Vanguard, a newspaper in which I have a weekly column every Friday. And so I've come all the way from Abuja to Lagos, where Uncle Sam lives, to join my Vanguard colleagues and a large chunk of the Nigerian establishment who share our appreciation for our amazing boss. Now, I won't be able to tell you about the party now because we've got a really great party lined up for him because it's happening tonight. So I'll tell you about that next week. But for now, let me just quickly run you through what I've been up to in the past 7 days. Now, the fact that I'm standing up to do this video shows that I have made significant progress since I announced my devastating diabetes diagnosis like 4 or 5 weeks ago. I'm still disappointed because I'm not seeing, weight disappearing from my stomach and my hips like as quickly as I want it to. In fact, I seem to be on some kind of plateau at the moment because having lost 10 kilos in May, I'm now coasting, not losing a lot, but I'm told that this will end soon because I'm not fasting, but I'm also not eating much. I have totally ditched sugar. I have almost completely ditched carbs. And I'm being a good girl. So people are telling me that if I'm not seeing, lost inches and lost lower numbers on the bathroom scale, it's because I'm just going through a normal thing called a plateau that will soon end and there'll be a drop in the numbers. So what I was saying is that it's the fact that I'm standing is just amazing because until, like 10 minutes ago, standing to do anything for more than, 10 seconds was very, very difficult for me because of knee pain, tiredness, just low motivation. But since I decided to take control of my health, I'm just more buoyant. I've got a little bit more energy, which I hope will become a lot more energy over time. And by the way, I did something pretty amazing. Last week with my friend Martine, who's visiting me from the UK, she's a fellow journalist with whom I co-host a podcast. Well, she's the anchor, but I'm sort of one of the presenters or participants. And we went to a cafe in Abuja, from which I used to order 2 slices of cheesecake every single day. Nice, creamy, fresh cheesecake. And guess what? We sat down, she ordered a shawarma, I ordered a chicken soup, and I left without even so much as glancing at the shelf where the cheesecake was kept. I really wasn't that interested. It's kind of weird, okay? Because let me tell you, I was such a sugar addict before. This is my daily sugar consumption in the bad old days, like 4 or 5 weeks ago and before that. A bag of chocolate eclairs, a packet of Mentos, which is sort of like chewy fruit sweets, a couple of slices of cheesecake, and 3 cubes of sugar in every single cup of tea or coffee, and I'd have about 5 or 6 of those in a day. So I've gone from like 1,000 to 0 almost overnight, and I've kept it up for a month. So clap for me. I'm certainly clapping for myself. Now, when I talk about lack of, not seeing any immediate visible improvement in my shape, I have an idea. Basically, I think the weight I've lost has come from inside me, lots of that visceral fat that swells around obese people's insides, bodies, and clings to our organs. But I think I've also, oh my God, I've lost weight around my neck, which is now looking more and more sort of like scrawny, a bit turkeyish. What can I do? That might be where Zsa Zsa Gabor, the famous actress who married about 7 or 8 times, said that a woman gets to an age when she has to choose between her derriere and her face. And I think I've got to that age because it's like either I'm going to lose all this and have a slightly drawn face, or I'm going to keep a fairly full face and fairly smooth neck, but be hugely overweight, which has so many health disadvantages. So let's wait to see how it goes. Okay, so I promised you last Friday that I would talk a little bit more about my experience in Sierra Leone, which was pretty amazing. I mean, it's not a rich country. There was nothing flashy, didn't do anything particularly exciting, didn't go to any nightclubs or anything. But, the people were warm and honest and welcoming. And I had an auntie who's she's my friend's mother, Auntie Adeline Timothy. She has been long gone, but I loved her so much when we were young. Her son Arthur, very good friend of mine, still lives in the UK. And Auntie Adeline always used to tell me, she would come to London to visit Arthur, and she would tell me about her house on Wilkinson Bypass in Freetown. And I always thought I must go and visit her in Wilkinson Bypass one day. And I never did. And then she went. And so on this trip to Sierra Leone, I did a little pilgrimage to Wilkinson Bypass. And I said a little prayer for my Auntie Adeline. And may she rest in peace. I loved you so much. I'm so sad I didn't come when you were still there. Okay? And then I did another pilgrimage while I was in Freetown, which is to Furabe College. Beautiful location on top of a hill overlooking an amazing bay. I think the most attractive African capital city I have personally been to. And Furabe College was the first university in British West Africa, and it was founded in 1827, long before other famous West African educational institutions were established, long before Achimota in Ghana or Legon, long before Ibadan in Nigeria, Achimota and Legon are in Ghana. So it was quite an emotional experience for me because, we have uncles who went from Nigeria to attend Furabe College. It was iconic. It was this amazing place. If you went to Furabe College, people really respected you. So I trundled up to the top of that hill, well, in a car, and again said a prayer for all the uncles and people who benefited from this amazing pioneering institution, and for all the souls of all the Africans it has educated, Sierra Leoneans and many other nationalities. So that was amazing. I loved it, And then something else that's happened this week, my friend Martine came in from London to visit me and stay with me. And we had a barbecue last weekend, invited a few friends here in Abuja, and she's coming to Uncle Sam's party with me tonight. And we went to a play last weekend. Abuja is not a cultural center, but a lady called Victoria Nwuche, who's married to a good friend of mine, wrote a play, and it was really nice. So we all crowded into this little theater, and it's been a perfect week in some ways. And the highlight, I guess, was interviewing Peter Obi, my favorite Nigerian politician, on Tuesday. So that's my week for you. And so let's move on to the section called food for thought. Now for my weekly food for thought section. Now, when I was diagnosed as diabetic, a lot of people told me, well, you have to give up sugar, and don't worry, you'll get used to it. In fact, you'll even start to like things like coffee without sugar. You'll prefer it. This is a complete lie. Excuse my language, but coffee without sugar, 4 or 5 weeks down the line, still tastes like shit. And so does herbal tea. Herbal tea has always tasted like nothing much, and it still tastes like cat's piss. But that's what I have to drink now if I want something hot during the day. And my thought for today is that you can't have everything. There are a lot of diabetic and pre-diabetic people out there who are not going to reverse or control their illness and may even allow it to kill them because they cannot give up things they like. They can't give up the sugar in their coffee or the cheesecake or whatever it is that turns them on. And the thing is, you've got to decide in life what matters more. Staying alive for your loved ones and so you can fulfill some dreams and so you can have some self-respect, or constantly indulging yourself to the point where you practically commit suicide. Yeah? Well, I'm learning that there are certain things I have to let go of if I want a better life and if I want my self-esteem to be restored to where it was when I was a healthy, slim person. Thank you.